Hey everybody, this weekend I was talking with some arborists from the Midwest and we were comparing, kind of chatting about the differences between running a tree service out there and running one out here. And one of the things I said was when I came here from Wisconsin, I really had to up my knowledge about plant identification. And so I just finished this consultation right here, was about to get into my car, and I just glanced and I noticed this is a really neat spot to show a ton of plants and really exemplify what an arborist in Los Angeles has to be ready for. So I thought we would do a lap around this spot right here and talk about all the plants, see if I can name the scientific names of these plants. And here we go. So we'll start with this tree right here, nice looking tree. It's a camphor, Cinnamomum camphora. Behind it, behind that black car, you can see a vine with some whitish pinkish flowers. Those are Pandoria vines. I don't know the common name. It's Pandoria something or another for the scientific name. The big palms up here are Canary Island date palms, which is Phoenix canariensis. And then these guys with the white flowers are giant bird of paradise, Strelitzia nicola. And then we got down here these square hedges, and this guy right here are privets, which is Lagerstromia, either japonicum or ovalifolium. We'd have to go up and look at them to figure out the differences. That's a weeping ficus back there, which is Ficus benjamina. Then here, this row gets a little complicated because it all looks like one thing, but what we can see in the foreground here is Eugenia, which is Syzygium myrtifolia, and just barely sticking out to the left of the telephone pole is a Cassia leptophylla, which is a gold medallion tree. And then back here, we have two trees side by side that are both pear trees, but one of them is Pyrus kawakamii, which is a Japanese flowering pear. And then in the foreground a little bit, this lighter color green is a Pyrus canariana, the calorie pine or Bradford pear. It was weird to have two of those planted side by side. I think a mistake was made, whoever planted those. The big pointy ones in the back, of course, are Italian cypress, which is Cupressus sempervirens. Then we got another ficus right here, which is Ficus elastica, otherwise known as a rubber tree. This pair of palms right here are king palms, and you can see way at the top there's this green section right here, and that's one of the telltale signs of the Arcantophoenix cunninghamiana. Down behind it there's one little palm right there, and that's a Kentia palm, which is Howea forsteriana, I think. Forsteria, I'd have to look that one up. On the foreground of this gray building there are a bunch of foxtail agaves. I don't know the scientific name, so I don't get credit for that one. These purple trees right here, these purple flowers, this one is the same thing. There's another one right there. That's the jacaranda mimosifolia. We just call it a jacaranda tree. And then that bright green tree is another camphor. This is another palm, the most common one in Los Angeles, Mexican fan palm, Washingtonia, robusta. In the foreground of that palm, right about there, that darker plant is a Chinese elm, which is Ulmus parviflora. And then you can see the white flowers here on these southern magnolias, Magnolia grandiflora. And then on the corner of this building right here, you got to get in real close. There is, where is it? Yeah, this guy right here. That's a pomegranate that's been shaped and sheared quite a bit. So that's Punica granatum. And then just behind the stop sign right there is a my favorite scientific name to say of all the ones that I know. It's a carrotwood tree, but it's Cupressus anacardioides. I think that's a fun one. Then we'll go, here's another pear tree. We already talked about that. These are trumpet vines. Fortunately, I don't know the name of that one yet. And then looking down here, that sparse looking thing is a lemon uke, Howea citriodora, and then let's see, what else do we have back here? That palm tree is a queen palm, which is Syzygium romensifiana, and then there is arborvitae. I'm not sure if we can get enough light on it. Yeah, there it is. You can see it right there. There's a little arborvitae right there. And then in the foreground, right here, geez. Okay, here we go. In the foreground, right here, that's a loquat tree, which is Areabotria deflexa, or japonicum is the edible one. I'm gonna have to look that up now because I'm second guessing. But then here we have Eucalyptus polyanthemos, better known as the silver dollar euc. This is not what they normally look like. This one's been sheared and pruned a whole bunch of times, so it looks really dense. There's a bunch of things we already talked about back there, jacarandas and giant bird of paradise. In the foreground right here, you can see two Lagerstromia indicas, because every street has to have a crepe myrtle. And then right here, this is a red flowering euc. Even though it's a eucalyptus, Matt Ritter decided he wanted to change the name, so now it's called a corymbia, parviFOLIA. And then I think everything else that I can see we've already talked about, except this guy right here is an Australian willow, which is Geijera parviflora. So that's what it's like learning the trees here in Los Angeles. I'm just at one intersection near the 2300 block of Beverly Glen. So if you want to come work on your tree ID, you're welcome anytime.